Welcome back to another episode of Lost in the Farmer's Market Garden Shorts. This is the second part of our Hibiscus malvaceae series, and today we'll be covering this lovely specimen. It's Roselle, Hibiscus sabdariffa. I dare you to say that 3 times fast. Sabdariffa. That sounds like a Caribbean rapper. But anyway, I digress. It's native to West and East Africa, Southeast Asia, and parts of India. It will grow in USDA zones 8 through 11 and be productive, mind you, but it's a short-lived perennial in zones 10 through 11, so not so much for North Carolina unless you bring it into a greenhouse for the winter. Or you have a cold frame. That is another option there. It prefers a soil pH of 5.5 to 6.8 and an exposure of full sun, though in the location you see it in, it gets shade in the afternoon, so it's technically not full sun. It has alternate names, and some of them are Florida cranberry, Jamaican sorrel, and fleur de Jamaica, which I think means flower of Jamaica, just sort of in French, kind of, which is okay. Now, the nutrition is interesting because this is a very, very nutrition-dense plant. In the flower calyx, the part that we make hibiscus tea out of, which is what Roselle, another name for Roselle. If you get hibiscus tea, hibiscus kombucha, it's probably this plant. Now, the flower calyx per 100 grams has 2 grams of protein, 10.2 grams of carbs, 0.1 grams of fat, thiamine, riboflavin, niacin, vitamin C, calcium, and iron. If you harvest the seeds and eat those, and I'm presuming you would roast them or something, 28.9 grams of protein, 25.5 grams of carbs, 21.4 grams of fat. It has thiamine, riboflavin, niacin, 9 milligrams of vitamin C, 350 grams of calcium, 9 milligrams of iron, and that's 350 milligrams of calcium. The leaves have 3.5 grams of protein. They're also a thickener, much like all the mallows have a mucilage to them that you can use to thicken soups and stews. 8.7 grams of carbs, 0.3 grams of fat, 1,000 milligrams of vitamin A, which is some serious business if you ask me. So I imagine chopping these up and putting them in a salad, maybe, with some vinaigrette. Oh, baby. I'm thinking raspberry walnut. They have thiamine, riboflavin, niacin, 2.3 milligrams of vitamin C, 240 of calcium, and 5 of iron. Now, in a medical purview, Roselle is useful in treating cancer, inflammatory diseases, and cardiovascular disease. It has a mild laxative effect, it's a diuretic, it's good for cough, wound care, skin care, it's an antihelmintic, and it's a sedative. Now, how about that? Now, I want to say on note about the taproots, because that's something we ought to talk about. This plant is very transplant sensitive, and I'm going to take the camera over to show a different specimen real quick, because it's next to the topic of our next video. This. Actually, there's 2 of them, as you can see. The one we just saw was St. Kitts and Nevis, and this is Thai Red. These were growing in these pots near the ground, and they tried to grow out of their pots into the ground. By moving them, I prevented this. But the taproots on these plants must be incredible, because the taproot must be at least similarly proportionate to the mass of the plant, and these plants are bigger than those over there because they're not crowded. Will they produce calyxes? Will I get my hibiscus tea? Will I stop talking to myself? We'll find out in the next amazing episode of Lost in the Farmer's Market. No, seriously, you should grow this. You can order the seed through Southern Exposure. They have both types that you saw. That's not an advertisement. The seeds, for a packet, it's about $3, I think. You sow the seeds shallowly, you make sure that there's bottom warmth, and you maintain humidity and get the little seedlings up. Not hard to grow, though I found out the hard way that you definitely have to maintain some soil moisture. I recommend this, because who doesn't want to grow their own hibiscus tea? Hibiscus tea with a little raspberry leaf? Fabulous. Plus, the whole plant's edible. Why the heck not? So, that's all I have for Roselle. Our next episode will be the actual cranberry hibiscus. Keep them growing, folks.